You might not be getting a result because you're trying to sell a product or a service, and that's a bad idea, and here's why. Driven Mofos, welcome back to another episode of The Underestimated Entrepreneur. For those of you who don't know who I am, I'm Michael Mojo. I'm the owner of Mojo Human Performance Institute, where we focus on business, mindset, and lifestyle hacking for driven mofos. The reason why I do these episodes is because we are in challenging economic times. There is a lot of instability that's going on at the moment, a lot of craziness. And I know that business is the backbone of our society. It provides jobs, it provides high levels of taxation. There's a whole bunch of stuff that great business owners are involved in. And I think that business is the backbone of most countries around the world. So I'm here to make sure that most business owners don't waste their life. You'll hear me say it on all my podcasts that most people waste their life, and I just don't want you to be one of them. That's why I do these episodes. So I really want to give away great tips, great tools, and be able to help people to live an epic life, especially business owners. So anyway, let's get into it. Let's talk about what we're here for today. What I really want to talk about is that when most people in a business are trying to think about what they're selling, and I ask them, they'll say, I'm selling a product or I'm selling a service. And I used to think the same thing. I would think, here's an event that I'm trying to sell, or here's a product, or here's a service. And it was a really bad way of trying to think about what I was doing. When you realize that you're not selling a product or you're not selling a service, that you're selling a solution to a problem or you're selling a dream outcome. When you realize that, it makes a massive difference in the way you sell, in the way you market, and in the way you operate as a business owner and also as a team of people who are delivering that product or the service. So when we're talking to someone or when you're putting something out on social media, I think that it's so easy to talk so much about the product because you're enthusiastic. I know I used to do this a lot, and I still do it every now and again because I get so pumped about our events and I love what we do, and I see the testimonials and I see the reviews and I hear people say about how much it changes things for them and the profit increases. In fact, I got a message from one of our Business Odyssey clients yesterday, and he shot me a message and he said all of our stuff has come through for the end of financial year last year. It was a big thank you, and he said we grew 160% or 162% in the last 12 months since starting Business Odyssey or a Business Growth Odyssey. I think, wow, we're doing this great job. So I get excited about it, and then I want to sell the product or I want to sell the service. And I forget that I'm not really selling the product or the service, I'm selling the outcome. So I'm not selling a Business Odyssey when I'm talking to someone on the phone and doing sales. What I'm doing is I'm selling the dream outcome, which for a lot of business owners is operational freedom. Most business owners are trapped, they're stuck, they're going, shit, all these decisions need to come through me. I'm stressed out, I'm burnt out, I'm tired, I'm starting to get resistance at home because I'm not home enough. When I am home, I'm unfocused and I don't have clarity. And so when I used to go in to do sales, I would go, well, here's this product. It's so amazing. We'll help your business to grow. But that person is sitting there thinking about their problems. And they're also sitting there thinking about their dream outcome going, shit, I would love to take a week off. But if I take a week off now, everything's going to go mental. So once I realized that if I sell them the dream outcome, which is, hey, what we do is we help you to take a month off. In the next 12 months, you can take a month off and the shit won't hit the fan in your business. You actually come back to a more effective business, not a less effective business. And they go, wow, that's what I want. And they go, okay, well, what else? Tell me more about it. And I go, okay, well, we also help solve these other problems. And once you go through and you solve problems for them, you help and you get them to see that they can solve problems and that you can help them achieve the dream outcome, the product sells itself. But what I find is that most business owners try to sell the product or the service, which then impacts their sales in a negative way. And it also puts them into a category of every other business. When I talk about most trade-based businesses, when I go to their websites or their Facebook page, they're all the same. And even though you talk to the business owner themselves, and they go, yeah, but we're different because we've been in business for 20 years. But the customer doesn't give a shit. They want an outcome. They want a dream. They want something to be done in the way that they want it to be done. And they're thinking of what that outcome looks like. And then I see another trade-based business will go, we have the cheapest price. The customer very rarely wants the cheapest price. If they're price shopping, they're probably shitty customers anyway. And there can only be one lowest price in any industry. So if you don't have high margins, you need to sell at high volumes in order to make profit. And that's why there are some specialty outlets, or there are outlets out there that sell, let's say, 1 million pens per year, and they make 1 cent on a pen, or they make $1 on a pen. They make $1 million a year because of that $1 per pen that they sell. Now, if you're someone who is selling fine pens and you're going for cheapest price, then you're competing with something that you'll never ever compete against. But if you have a look at a company like Mont Blanc, or Blanc, however the fuck you say it, I've bought plenty of their pens, and some of them can be in excess. I mean, shit, I've seen pens on their website that are $500,000. Now, if you have a look at that, their profit margin in that $500,000 pen. Now, I'm talking about a pen here. Like, you write with this thing and then you've got to fill the fucking thing with ink. And then that's a purchase on top of that. So I can go out and buy a 20 pack of Bic pens that are disposable and I can throw them away for $8 or $10 or whatever. So they're 50 cents a pen. The profit margin on that is going to be so small, but the volume is going to be huge. When you have a look at Mont Blanc, they've only got to sell 2 pens. Let's say they're a $500,000 pen, and each pen they make $250,000 on per pen. They only have to sell 4 pens to make $1 million. Now, they're not selling high volume, they're selling high margin. Whereas Bic is selling high volume, but they might have very small margins. So they might only make, let's say, 2 cents per pen. So they might have to sell 300 million pens a year in order to make enough money to pay for their costs, okay, if they're a big, large company. I'm just using this as an example. So what we need to do is we really, as business owners, we really need to think about what problem do we solve and then solve it in a way that I think creates great margins and sets us apart from other people. And the way that we do that is by understanding what problem that we solve. Now, if you're a trade-based business and you're saying, well, we do a no obligation free quote. Well, who gives a shit? Because everyone does that. So that doesn't set you apart and it doesn't make the consumer feel any better about the problem that they're trying to solve. Most businesses that I see that are in the trade-based industry, they say something along the lines of like best price guaranteed. Well, now you're fighting for price. So if that's the case, you better have high volume, because by the sounds of that, you're not going to have high margin. And if you don't have high margin, then you're never going to scale. This is going to be a huge problem for most trade-based businesses, and they're getting squeezed right now for that exact reason. By understanding what problem that you solve, you can go to your social media page and go, we are clean, we are effective, we do the job on time, here is some happy customers, and you build your business around building good relationships. Now, on your social media page, your whole social media page might be about the customers that you've worked with. And it might not be about the customer themselves, because most people do cheesy testimonials, and even my team does it sometimes. But you don't want to go to a social media page and see, they did a really good job, it was good, I highly recommend them, thumbs up, because that's boring. That doesn't help you to make a better decision. Whereas if you had, let's say Jane has a light fitting and she wants to have a new light fitting, and Bob comes along and Bob puts a new light fitting in her house, and Jane sits there and she goes, and you tell Jane's story, and it was, the common concern that I have when I'm working with tradies is, are they going to be effective? Are they going to be efficient? Are they going to rip me off? And are they going to get the job done effectively? And do I have to look at their ass crack because they bend over all the time? They have pants that don't fit. Something along those lines, right? I'm having a bit of a joke, but something like that. And then you tell a little bit of Jane's story. Here's what we did at Jane's house. Jane wanted this simple light fitting, but we told her that it would change the perception of the room because of the way that it looks. And we recommended a larger light fitting, which would then do this, this, and this. And as you can see here, it made such a difference to Jane's room. Now, when you tell a story like that, another customer can relate to that because you know what problem that you're trying to solve and the solution that the customer is looking for. Now, Jane's solution was, I need a light in my room, but I also want it to look good. Instead of just, I want a light fitted. And most trade-based businesses go, well, people just want a light fitted, or people just want plumbing, or people just want a tap fitted. And that's a fucking boring story. The reason why movies make so much money is because they pull us into a story. And the better the storyteller you become, the better you get at marketing. So the marketing process is essentially a storytelling process. If you know what problem a customer is trying to solve, and you can give them a great solution and a great outcome, and you can solve the outcome really, really well and tell a great story, you will have a really effective business. So please understand that we don't sell a product or a service in a business. We sell a solution to a problem, or we sell an outcome, a dream outcome that the customer is trying to get. And then marketing is using those stories, or using a story format, or telling people why you're different. Some of the great things that I see actually on social media is, in some trade-based businesses, they will show their team working. And one of the clients that we have, Stephen, who owns SR Construction, he showed me a story of his tradies who were on a work site and they were all having fun. They were doing some stuff that was quite funny actually. And he showed me this video and they had it on one of their profiles or something like that. But what I thought is, it shows that these are real people who are working hard. Now, if I was going to work with a building company, I would want to know that I'm working with people that are hardworking, that can get shit done, that do a good quality job. There is about 10 different things that I want to know before I make my purchase. Now, if anyone can break that customer journey down and give me those answers and those solutions in order to build my dream outcome, then they're probably going to get the job. They're probably going to have higher margins because you'll have higher trust. Now, if someone doesn't know, like, and trust you, they're always going to price shop. Now, there are always scabby people out there who price shop, and that is what it is. But I've never found, in the majority of times, I actually find it easier to upsell people than downsell. And this is something that happens quite a lot in sales, is that if someone doesn't buy, there's normally a thought process that is they're not buying because it's too expensive. Now, that's not true. The reason why people don't buy isn't because it's too expensive, it's because they believe it's too expensive to solve the problem that they have and give them the solution that they're looking for. The truth is that if you understand what they want and sell them that thing, you can normally get high prices for it. And I mean, you've got to deliver the value in order to get a good lifetime spend of that customer. My point is though, get really, really clear with the problems that you solve and then sell that. Get really good at identifying the dream outcome of your customer and sell that. It will help you way, way more than just selling your product and service. Anyway, Driven Mofos, I hope that this helps. I really do appreciate, I know a lot of you have been sharing this podcast on your social media. We have had a massive influx of people. I watch the data and the number every week on this podcast. The podcast has been going crazy and I've seen a lot more of you sharing this. So thank you for everybody out there who has been sharing this on their social media. I know a lot of you have been taking screenshots of listening to the podcast and then chucking it up on your social media and saying, have a listen to this, or I've been getting good value, business owners jump on there, or even just driven mofos in general, driven people jump on here, have a listen. So I do appreciate it. It's helping with our numbers massively. And what it shows me is that every week I'm able to help more people with, talking about business and giving some of these tips and tools. It makes a massive difference for me too, because when I see the numbers going up, just like any business owner or any person that is wanting to achieve something, I mean, unless you're trying to lose weight, then you don't want to see the numbers going up. But, what it does do is that when I see those numbers going up every week, I know that this stuff is valuable and it's important to people. And it really keeps me inspired and driven and making sure that I drop these every day. I know I wasn't originally going to drop a podcast a day every day, but I know that so many more people have been listening to it, coming online, sharing it, writing reviews, giving us star ratings and all that stuff. And so it makes a massive difference to me because it keeps me inspired because I know I'm making a difference. So thank you to all of you out there who are doing that. If you're not doing it, please feel free to do so. It does make a massive difference to me and my team. And also to the people out there, helping your friends and family and all the people around you as well. Anyway, Driven Mofos, I hope that this helps. Never underestimate the dream. Peace out.